against one another national team players. Does it mean anything to you?
It means that LAFC is going to be way better than the last games. That's the only thing. I mean, I love him, I admire him, but then when the whistle goes, he's no one for me. You know, I need to play for LA Galaxy, and we need to win, of course.
Do you think it means something for the fans, though?
Ask them. For us, it's like we're going to give everything. We're going to try to win.
Did you guys face each other in Europe ever?
In Europe, yes. I think in a Champions League match when I was in United and he was in Real Sociedad.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Who won that game? Who won that game? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I think we lost that game. We draw. We lost.
They faced twice. One, Manchester United won at Old Trafford 1-0.
And then the Spain, right?
And then in Spain it was a 0-0 tie.
0-0. Okay.
Thank you.
How big is
Gracias, Katia. Okay, thank you. Bye.
How big is this rivalry for you? How big? How when you're playing in this game, what does it mean to you?
It's huge. It's huge. Of course, they're the first in our conference, and they are the neighbors, and they want to reach at one point the level that this organization has. You know, like LA Galaxy with 5 championships. I mean, it means a lot, of course. So. But as well, I was speaking yesterday in another interview, and I know for the fans and for the people outside, you want to listen that we are completely committed and we're going to give everything. But in the end, it's a game 11 against 11, and everything around is just noise. It's beautiful noise sometimes if you win, and it's not a pleasant noise when you lose. But that's soccer, that's the sport. So I think outside we know what it means, we know what it represents, and obviously we want to win. But as well, in the pitch, it's going to be 11 against 11, and I think if you manage pretty well the pressure and all that noise, I think you can manage it pretty well.
Once you get into the 11-11, it's like any other game.
Exactly.
Chicharito, obviously, you know, you're a team first guy. You know, everything leading up to this is Carlos Vela versus Chicharito. Are you curious, or how motivated are you to put on a show this
First of all, I think that's wrong, because it's LAFC against LA Galaxy. I mean, he's a very top player and I'm a top player, but I mean, Douglas Costa is over there, Rodriguez is over there. I mean, we need to be respectful in that sense. You know, when you want to send a message and send a positive kind of thing, I can get it. But when you want to create novels and dramas and just all of that stuff, I'm not in favor. You know, because we need to be very respectful to everyone. Because Carlos Vela shouldn't be no one without his teammates through the years, myself included too. So we need to be very respectful in that sense.
You guys are the biggest superstars in this league. That's
yeah, but we don't play alone, man. So I think only Messi and Ronaldo can play by themselves and win championships and win games. A part of those two, I mean, we all depends on everyone.
Hey Javier, did this group take a big step coming up Portland with the Portland win?
I don't want to say a big step, because I don't like to say when we lose we drop steps, and when we win we go steps. The thing is, I think even in last season we showed resilience very, very well in that sense. The problem that we couldn't handle this consistency, you know, and that's something that we want to improve in this season, and obviously game by game we want to show it. Of course, if we bounce back after 2 losses against Portland, now against LAFC, hopefully we can maintain another win and then the next win. So that's why I'm very honest and very focused in the present, because that's what it matters, and most of it because of last season. You know, the lesson that we learned, so painful, it means everything. You know, like 1 game, 1 point, one win, 1 draw, it could put you in a championship fight, not even in the playoffs, in a championship fight.
Javier, ¿qué significa este partido por el momento en el que llegan los dos? Vienen los dos de victorias, peleando en la parte de arriba y que siempre el tráfico.
Sí, algo muy bonito, va a ser muy bonito, muy especial, y bueno, que esperemos que la Liga así se pueda llevar los 3 puntos. Estamos aquí en nuestra casa, no va a ser nada fácil para nosotros, pero tampoco va a ser nada fácil para ellos.
Y no en afán de que sea la rivalidad de Chicharito Vela, ni mucho menos, pero lo platicábamos, se han enfrentado antes en Europa, ahora en esta nueva etapa, estar en MLS y por fin poderlos ver medirse en la cancha, ¿tiene un significado?
Sí, siempre uno siempre quiere enfrentarse y ponerse a la competencia de los mejores jugadores en todas las ligas en las que estás, ¿no? Entonces Carlos es uno de ellos, y obviamente que va a ser muy bonito. Yo lo quiero mucho, como lo dije ahorita aquí en inglés, lo quiero mucho, pero bueno, cuando el pitazo inicial se dé, para mí es un desconocido, es un jugador más del LAFC, y vamos a hacerlo de la mejor manera nosotros para tratar de contrarrestarlo a él, porque sabemos que es un arma muy poderosa para ellos.
Y por último, ¿qué representa el que los dos a su manera, representando la bandera de México, estén poniendo en alto con sus actuaciones en una liga como es en el?
Yo creo que es algo muy bonito porque también las carreras, las vidas, las decisiones, si te fijas, son muy distintas en las que hemos tomado los dos, pero eso es lo más bonito, que los dos hemos logrado nuestros sueños, hemos decidido vivir la vida que hemos querido, para que se juzgue que la vida no es de blanco o negro, ¿no? La vida no hay que juzgarnos, no hay que siempre buscar al héroe o a la víctima, que aquí todos somos responsables, todos podemos generar un impacto impresionante y cada uno en nuestro trabajo, en nuestra labor y en nuestras metas y en nuestros sueños podemos conocernos, podemos vivirlos y nos atrevemos.
Javier, en tu carrera has jugado muchos clásicos, ¿no? Comenzando con el Atlas Chivas, América Chivas. Bueno, esas sensaciones que se viven previas al Tráfico, ¿a cuál clásico las puedes comparar?
Las comparaciones no me gustan y como lo respondí aquí en la pregunta en inglés, a lo mejor a los aficionados muchas veces no les gusta escuchar esto, pero creo que los dos mensajes se pueden enviar. Obviamente sabemos que es un partido muy especial, que es un derbi, que estamos jugando en la misma ciudad, que somos dos instituciones que queremos aspirar a lo más alto, a competir no nada más por 3 puntos, sino por campeonatos, pero que luego es 11 contra 11. La verdad yo no he visto que ningún factor vaya a influir muchísimo más y que eso le genere un gol ya a favor o un gol en contra a una institución antes de un partido. Entonces aquí somos 11 contra 11, va a ser un partido complicadísimo, al igual que los otros 5 que hemos jugado hasta ahorita.
Javier, ¿cuál es el mensaje a la comunidad, a los aficionados para que mantengan la calma en este tipo de eventos?
Que es un deporte, que al fin de cuentas es un deporte y también nosotros dentro de la cancha nos ven competir, nos ven dando todo, pero por eso existen los jueces de línea, le sirven los árbitros, para que todo siempre esté a un límite, para que sea lo más saludable posible. Entonces aquí queremos decirle que todos, más que nada, y conociéndome a mí, ya con muchos ya me han escuchado, yo soy una persona que es muy espiritual y que cree que todos somos humanos, que al fin de cuentas uno viene a vivir aquí su vida, viene a decidirla, pero con las mejores intenciones posibles, sin hacerle daño a nadie, y que la competencia sea sana, que es lo más importante. Es algo que mi abuelo y mi padre siempre me han inculcado, que afortunadamente en todos los estadios en los que yo he ido, y también mi familia que han vivido del fútbol, afortunadamente nunca han vivido ninguna situación así. Entonces aquí lo tenemos que pensar es que no hay gol, no hay derrota, no hay victoria, no hay resultado que te haga herir a otro ser humano, sea con palabras, sea con agresión física. No debería existir eso.
2 more questions. Or anybody else?
Hey, Luke, thank you guys.
This one will be a little bit different because it'll be Chicharito and Vela will both get a field for the first time. And as great a season as you're having, everyone else kind of fades into the background a little bit. Do you like that? Do you like to be, or would you rather be?
I don't care. I literally don't care. As long as we're playing well, we're winning, I don't care who gets the recognition or whatnot. I just want 3 points. That's it.
You've obviously looked at film of LAFC, and they're playing different than they did when you were there, right? Not as wide, more direct. The wingers stay back. Is that correct?
I don't know. I didn't watch them too much. I know I watched a couple of the last games against Portland. I remember I watched a bit in Colorado. So I know they have a different approach to the game, but I think their identity and the way their philosophy, the way they play is still LAFC football. So we're going to look at that and we're going to see how ways we can exploit them for the game coming up.
Is it special at all for you to have been the first full-time, we'll call full-time, there was a loanee last year, but a full-time player to play on both sides? Does that mean anything or does it not?
Not really to me. Not really. Not at all.
And you had 4 assists through the first 5 games. I know if you go back in 2017, you were playing under Greg, and you had 6 assists in that season. What is it about Greg Vanney and getting you into an attacking phase? And were you even playing in the same position back then?
It was, I was left wing back, kind of the same position. What Greg does well is that he puts you in positions to succeed. Obviously, he knows what to do and what needs to be done to put you in a position where you can maybe cause havoc and maybe be a difference maker. So that's I put it on him. His tactical awareness and the way he just puts out the team is really good. Yeah.
Is it also you though developing as a player? Do you feel like you're taking a step forward? Are things happening maybe a little slower for you, so that way you can see things?
Yeah, that as well, and I think a lot of running games. I think this is like maybe the first time in 2-3 years where I had a full preseason and I came in sharp, ready to go. So yeah, I credit to that as well too, just having a good preseason.
In terms of setting up and finishing that final action, where do you think the potential is for this team to continue growing and executing more?
Yeah, I think our potential is really there. I think, as you said, getting to the byline and getting crosses in, and not just having Chicha score, having more guys score. I think that's the point that we're trying to have go towards as well too, and obviously our back line as well. I think throughout those 5 games, even though we lost 2 games, I think our back line and just the way our team defensive collectively have played, I think we did very, very, very well, and I think we're going to continue to grow throughout the season as well.
Raheem, since LAFC came in, they've been the better team. In the derby, the Galaxy have been the better team by a pretty good margin. From the LAFC side, did that wear on the team? Is that anything that is one of those things that we need to be, we need to be the better team in our derby?
Exactly. It goes for both ways. Back when I was with LAFC, it was like we needed to be the better LA team. Here's more of the same. You need to be the better LA team. So, yeah, we're not going to look at the past scores or whatnot. We're just going to take it one game at a time. And obviously, this is the Battle of LA, so it's going to be electrifying as like it's always been throughout this short histories. So, just bring it come game day and just be ready to go for it.
When you were at LAFC and they're winning these derby games,
it's a little bit better. It's a little bit much more than 3 points. Obviously, as I told you before, it's the Battle of LA. You want to claim LA, so yeah, getting a win against your rivals is always a good thing, right? Obviously, it's a little extra boost to maybe your season, helps you kick off your season even more and whatnot. So yeah, it's good.
So even though it's the same 3 points as in Portland last weekend, it means more. It means a little. Yeah,
it means a little bit more, obviously, for sure, because it's the Battle of LA, and it's good for the morale. You just want to show your supporters. Obviously, the supporters here, they don't get along too well with LAFC, so you want to give your supporters something to brag about. Obviously.
Does it feel weird being on the other side now?
Not really. I'm gonna come game day. I'm gonna see all the guys. We're gonna chat back at LAFC. But once I get on the pitch, it's game time, competition time. Yeah.
Raheem, last season you were playing a lot of different positions with LAFC. With LA Galaxy, it seems like you're gonna just play the left back position. How much has that helped you knowing that what you're gonna do every single day?
Yeah, exactly. As you said, I know what I'm gonna do every single day. It's not me adjusting to different stuff, but yeah, as I said before, my time in LAFC was excellent. I enjoyed it very, very much. Even playing all the different positions, I just want to learn. I just want to grab as much data and information as I can. But yeah, here being a left back, being out and out left back is definitely helping me and progressing me forward throughout this season.
You've had a lot of assists this year. A lot of people are keeping an eye on that. How motivated are you to keep performing on a high level and potentially get a call up for the national team?
Yeah, I just want to continue to perform. It doesn't have to be assists. It can just be good gameplay, obviously. But I just want to keep playing consistently for my team for Galaxy, so I could possibly get a call up. But that's not in my hands. Obviously, I'm just gonna do what I can do best and just play to the best of my ability.
Raheem, you played alongside Vela, and now you're here with Chicharito, and we were just talking how they're gonna face off for the first time. Just from your perspective and what they each bring for each team and the meaning, how has that?
Yeah, both of them are leaders of the team. They're vocal points of the team. Vela, obviously, as you guys know, he's been in the league for 3 years now, 3-4 years, causing havoc on the right side. He's a guy that they look to, to bring something special from them. And Chicho, he's our leader. Of course, he's the one that mentally prepares us for the game and always wants to win, has a great mentality, always wants to go for it and whatnot. So both of them are both obviously vocal points for their teams, and respected them because they take it with full heart and yeah, they've been really excellent for their teams. Yep.
What does what Canada has done, qualifying with such style, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's recognition. I thought for my first time here in MLS was back in 2016. I always thought Canadians were not overlooked, but not looked upon too much. And now to get our recognition, yeah, it's great. But obviously, I know knowing the guys, it doesn't really matter. We're still going to try to continue to do our thing and turn heads and whatnot.
Well, it's been since '86. So,
exactly.
So what does this mean to the country?
It's a breath of fresh air. As kids could come and look at players like Mark Anthony, Jonathan Osorio, guys like that in the league, and say, hey, if they can make it to the World Cup, so can I. It gives people belief. So it's good. It's good for the nation. Is that it?
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good look.
Hello, everybody. Greg, how are you? I was wondering if you could update us on Douglas Costa and his hamstring, and if you said you thought he would be full training on Monday. Has he made it to the league so far?
Yeah, he was in full training yesterday, full training today. So again, it's seeing how he reacts with each day as we get closer, and again gauging fitness levels and stuff like that, which have been pretty good. But we're seeing the progress we were hoping for. So yeah.
And Sasha Kleshin, I know he was in health and safety protocols. Is he back to yet?
No, I think today might be the last day that he's out, and then he might be able to rejoin us.
Do you think that there's a possibility he'd be available for this weekend?
I do, yeah. I do think so, yeah.
He also seems like somebody who would be a possible fill-in for Markey. Is he in shape to do that if you choose?
It's a logical choice. Not so easy with him not being around for the last 7, 8, 9 days. So we'll see how he's doing when he comes back. He's been symptom-free the whole time, so it's not really been that much of an issue. But I just don't know how much he's been able to really accomplish over this. So we'll see how he is. But I suspect he'll be available and be eager and anxious to be a part of it all. So.
You sort of still have options aside from him, though. I mean, Raheem, Leerdam, and to move guys all around the back line? I mean, what's sort of going through your mind as you sort of get closer to game day?
Yeah, just again trying to keep some continuity with the group, not try to change up too many things with too many guys, keep them in roles that they've been comfortable and confident in. Next guy up kind of scenario. Yeah, and play to our strengths and play against their weaknesses in areas that we think that we can get them. But again, just not trying to overthink this, but try to find the right solutions in the right spots. Just make the adaptation and move forward.
Hey Greg, when you were in Toronto, I don't think you guys had. I mean, you had a derby game, but nothing like this. And even when you were with the Galaxy before, how do you keep the guys from getting too geeked up, or do you like that? Do you like taking it to the nth level?
Yeah, I mean, our rivalry game in Toronto was Montreal, and I would argue it was a big one. And we had a lot of also big games as they related to playoff games, playoff series, things like that. So the one thing in games like this is you usually don't have to overly motivate guys. It's more keeping guys focused on the intentions and the execution of things. Again, understanding that a big chunk of these games sometimes is just winning the duels and little things, hustle, things like that. But it's also staying focused on the intentions of the game and what you're trying to accomplish. So for us, it's the same thing. It's in our stadium. There's going to be a lot of emotion. It'll be a lot of excitement. It's being purposeful about what we do and staying confident through all the moments, because they're going to have good moments. We're going to have good moments, and it's maintaining your attention to detail and what it is we're trying to do throughout the game.
Thanks.
Greg, I think last year without Carlos, LAFC showed they kind of are a team that likes to send the ball behind your back line. Do you see that from this iteration of LAFC? And if so, how do you prioritize managing the space?
Yeah, I do. I think, again, I think the way their team sets up, the strength of their group is in the attack. And, what I've seen from them so far is get those guys the ball as early as you can and give them the opportunity to create and do the things that they're capable of doing. And, to be fair to them, they're not a group that needs a ton of opportunities. They've made do on the opportunities they've had. And they're also very good in the press and the counter press. And so when they get the ball in front of them, it sets them up for the opportunity to counter press and keep putting pressure on you and trying to use the ball in those transition moments, which they're very good at. So, we'll see if it's different. Again, it'll be a game of slightly different maybe ideas and concepts, and it'll be who can manage sort of the balance of power through the course of the game and who can have the game in their vision and hopefully play the game in the opposition's half of the field more than in our own half of the field. So, but that'll be those are the challenges that always exist when we play LAFC. I don't think it's changed too much.
Hey, Greg, what are you looking most forward to this match? You've been around the league a long time. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think it's the challenge for this group at the start of a season. It's early in the year. It's a highly emotional game. I think we've played some tough games in some tough places so far this year. Playing in Seattle, playing in Portland, playing a home opener, a club franchise opener in front of 75,000. These are tough games, playing the champion in the first game. Now we're playing LAFC, our rival, in another game. So these have been 6 real challenging games for us. This is another opportunity for us as a group to step out and to try to execute on the things that we've been working on in an emotional and challenging environment. I sense that it'll have the feel a little bit of a playoff of type game, but early in the year. So it's a good opportunity. These are games that you get to see a little bit about where you're at.
Greg, looking beyond the attack and all that with LAFC, what are the things that you see in them? What are the things that you admire about them? And the importance of Elias Sanchez and Cifuentes?
I think they have starting with your last comment, I think they have a strong midfield with Acosta and Cifuentes, and Elia gives them a little bit of that experience and balancer. But the other 2 guys have physical presence. They can run, they can compete, they defend well. They also are good on the ball. So they have a strong midfield, which I think obviously their front 3, and that could be different versions of a front 3. But I think, again, they're not guys who need a ton of challenges. They have a lot of quality that they can execute in 1 or 2 plays, and next thing you know, you're on the wrong side of it. That was a little bit of it for Orlando on the weekend. They had a lot of control in the game, and the next thing you know, Vela picks it up in midfield. He plays the ball in behind to Arango. He squares it across, goal. Next thing, they're back in the game right away. So they have that capacity to hurt you in limited number of chances, which is always tough teams to play against, because it doesn't matter how much control you have, you could be on the wrong side of the score instantly. And so and they have a very athletic group across the back who are not afraid to go one-on-one. They're not afraid to play a little bit high and condense the spaces. They'll take a little bit of risk. That risk sometimes is also their vulnerability, in my opinion, but those are things that they have to gauge. But they'll play a little bit on the edge and force you to beat them, which is a sign of a team that's tough to beat.
Trafico in goal just seems to be a
I saw it. I mean, I've seen and played against him a lot. Having been up in Canada, and the evolution and the growth of the goalkeeper of Trafico has been interesting to watch, and he's come a long way. I think he's solid and looks very confident back there. So that's something I think, whatever, for their team over the last handful of years, it's finding that guy that they can rely on has not been an easy thing for them, and I think they have their guy now, which adds another level of challenge, right, for us.
Greg, they have a healthy Vela, and you guys have had.
Can we get you closer to the mic?
Yes, of course.
They've also you guys have had a healthy top form Chicharito as well, and it would be the first time that they'll be at the same time on the field for this crosstown rivalry. So just what does it mean to have them both on the field for the rivalry and also for each team individually?
I think on a basic level, it takes the level of the game up. Right? Two players with their quality, the form that each of them have, makes the game more exciting. I mean, anything can happen at any moment when you add guys of that caliber into a game like this. In addition to the emotion, it adds also, I think, just to the fan environment and with both sides having their main guy there in this game and the rivalry, I think adds a little bit to that side of it as well. So it should be exciting. We got to do our best to contain not just Vela, but contain him and the other guys with it, and we've got to do our best to give Javi his chances in front of the goal, which he's made do on for us throughout the season. We're going to keep doing that this weekend.
Greg, there's a rumor that perhaps the Galaxy are interested in a center back from Watford, William Troost-Ekong. Do you have any comment on that? Are those rumors true?
No comment. I know the player, but that's about the extent of the situation.
Outside of that, is center back a place that you're looking to reinforce?
Not really a priority in the moment. I think our guys, we have a number of center backs. We have Zavaleta, who we haven't even gotten into the mix yet, who we've been integrating into the group. So I don't think it's a priority at this moment. I think you saw one of the things as our priority. If we lose one midfielder right now, we start to get a little bit thinner, especially in that defensive midfield role. And obviously with Jorge not involved right now with his recovery, we're a little thin in the left back position. So these are some areas that also we're trying to make sure that we're covered in and we have solutions for as the season continues to progress. But center back isn't the main priority in the short term.
Greg, one more question about LAFC. Are they playing differently this year? It seems like they're not pushing the outside backs forward. They're playing more direct. They're not as wide under Cherundolo as they were under Bob. Is that all accurate, or?
What I've seen from them just in the games that I've watched them, I don't think they're as aggressive as they were with Bob, and by that I think, kind of to your point, I don't think fullbacks are as aggressive trying to press out of the back line and get to the opposition's fullbacks, which was a staple of what they did in the past, which left them very vulnerable sometimes in the back for jailbreaks, if you will. So I think they've been in the press, but they've been a little more calculated. They've pressed from inside out instead of from the back line towards the front line, which has left them to be maybe a little bit more stable. At times they're not quite as high. Like we saw in Orlando, they were a little bit deeper and keeping their density a little bit tighter. So things like that. But I think their objective is to try to get the ball forward, get it to their attacking players. I don't think they put a lot of emphasis on their center backs making the game and having to hit crazy passes through the midfield and stuff. I think they want to get the guys that make plays as quickly as they can, whether that's direct or in transition. It's getting it to them quickly and letting them do their thing.
They seem a little more compact. They used to be sideline to sideline, and they're not quite that wide.
Yeah, I think that's the trait of a team that wants to play in transition, that is a counter-pressing team. They really create, again, density in the midfield. They want to turn you over in the midfield, and then they want to try to get you in the transition. So the more space you open up, the more space the opposition has to play between you, and again, that makes it easier on us. So they really try to do a good job of creating density, like I say, through the middle of the field to turn you over so that they can use that in the transition.
Greg, I have two rivalry questions for you. When you came back to the Galaxy after playing in France, Chivas USA was in the league, and it was at a time when Chivas USA was pretty good. I'm wondering how that rivalry at that time compares with this one, and also just the rivalry with San Jose, which you experienced your, beginning of your Galaxy career and when you came back.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, as it relates to the Chivas rivalry, I don't know that it ever really got to the level of this rivalry. I would say my experience with Chivas and whatever it was, Chivas always felt a little bit like the little brother of the Galaxy, renting its stadium, having a small field over there to deal with. Little things like that. It never really felt like the two clubs got on par with each other, where there was some competition, year to year. And so this one with LAFC coming in, they built a huge fan base right off the bat. They have a fantastic season where they run the league and set the mark. And the Galaxy, not having a great last handful of years or so, trying to find its level again, has immediately put the competition on I feel like on a different level than where that one was at the time. The quality of players that are there, a lot of things, the evolution of the league, there's a lot of things that I think have contributed to this rivalry hitting just a different level than I felt like that one hit in my experiences. As it relates to San Jose, I think the one thing that San Jose and Galaxy had going for it, and that still is continuing to build in this rivalry, is when you play each other in really big games. It's knockout games, it's playoff games, it's Western Conference Finals, it's things like that where there's real, there's championships on the line, or those kinds of things create another level of rivalry. So I think there's been one playoff game between these two teams, is that correct? Yeah. So it's more of those moments where loser goes home, where there's really a different level of emotion that comes into that, because somebody at the end of the day walks away with nothing. And the more you have those types of things, like in Toronto, it was the Canadian Championship between those two teams, it was the MLS playoffs. The more you have those high emotional games, the more the rivalry continues to build on itself. And those are coming between these franchises, there's no question.
When you were in Toronto, was Vancouver a rival in any way? And did the rivalry with Columbus matter?
Again, to start at the last, the rivalry with Columbus became much less important as the other Canadian clubs came into it. Vancouver being in the Western Conference and being, also farther away and more friendly in some ways, it was less, but obviously some good games in Canadian Championships. The first title we won there with myself was a Canadian Championship that we won in Vancouver in the final seconds of the game, that was created kind of got the rhythm of our group going in terms of competing for championships. But you could never really, that rivalry was never going to be the same as Montreal-Toronto, because there's a political history there. There's a whole lot of language differences. There's a proximity, Eastern Conference. There's a lot of other underlying sort of factors that go to the emotion of that game within the fan bases, but also the player groups. So,
anything else?
I keep moving away. I know.
I was going to say, where are you going, brother?
All right.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.